Hello, dear chess friends. I'm more than happy to welcome our dear guest, Richard Buono. And we continue with another fascinating topic regarding the usage of auto-hypnosis in the field of chess. Today, we will be talking about how to fight our fear when we are supposed to play against a difficult opponent. And actually, you will see how powerful the auto hypnosis can be in that matter. This is really one topic that is quite interesting for me. As a chess player, I have faced such situations many times, and I will be quite interested to understand how a professional psychologist can handle this topic. Richard, you're welcome, and I'm very excited about this conversation.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to continue this series of video about auto-hypnosis. And yes, this topic is a particular issue, I know, for every chess player to know how to deal in this situation when you particularly fear an opponent. Specifically because he already won several games, you never could beat him, or any kind of situation, or maybe because this is the last round of the tournament and you know this player is very good. Any type of circumstances that could at least reduce your potential while you're going to play your game. So we had already explained that the auto-hypnosis might help you in many situations. And we have already explained that it consists on a base layer, which already we discussed about, and you can refer to the documentation, and an extra and specific layer, which consists on dealing with the issue. But first, before to talk about this specific layer, we have to have a few words about these particular problems, because it's important to understand. An opponent consists on two things, consists on a name and a visual, a picture. Okay, so if you don't have the name and if you don't have the picture, you only have the gameplay, and this is it. But I don't know many players in the world capable just to watch pieces moving on the chessboard and being capable to guess who is playing, because there's so many chess players and there's so many games that it is impossible. You may probably notice the style or recognize some typical opening, and you know who maybe plays this opening. But in general, without the name and without the visual, you cannot guess who is playing. I'm coming to the point now explaining that this is just a representation you have in your mind. Because you could consider ignore completely the name and the visual by working on your mindset, by saying that you just play. You play against an invisible opponent. You play against a dummy opponent. You play against whoever you like. What is the difference is when the opponent is sitting in front of you, because you watch him. But when you watch him, you also recall the fact that he won, that this, that, and such and such. This is where we have to trigger some technique to try to avoid every emotional that could interfere in this situation. So after the basic start of the auto-hypnosis, you now in the proper condition. You can do that before the game, of course. We'll see later on that you can do during the game, but before the game. You have several ways to deal with it. The very first is to start where you enter a room, and the room preferably would be the tournament room. This is why I said sometimes in the past, it is very good if before a tournament you have time to go in the tournament room, because you need to picture the tournament room. You need to feel inside this tournament room, because every auto-hypnosis requires a strong visualization. And every chess player has that. You're capable, when you close your eyes, to see the chessboards, the tables, the lighting, and everything. What is written, the sponsors, you feel the room. You're in this room. So before the tournament, wherever, whenever, at night, the evening before, or in the morning, or while you're in the cafeteria, whatever you like, you just close your eyes and you feel you are in this room. And in this room, there's a chessboard, and you go to sit at the chessboard mentally. And you see this famous opponent coming in front of you. What is important at this moment is that you feel nothing. You just watching a picture. You are just watching the colors. Watch the clothes. Watch the chessboard. Watch the tables. Watch the face without watching the face. Basically, you are in a dissociation state. Okay? We talked a lot about that. I'm not going to recall everything about dissociation, but what is important is that when you train mentally, you have no emotion. If you feel emotion, continue, stay until you feel nothing. Of course, you have several sentences that could push you hard into some statement like, it is just an energy in front of me, not a human being. He's pushing the pieces. Okay. You can think also he's a very regular human being. You can think that he's completely transparent. You can think he's another guy. You can think he's just appointed to move the pieces. You completely dissociate the real player that you know from the image you're trying to create. Okay? So it is very important to visualize you play against this being in the auto-hypnosis specific protocol. You have to go slowly. You walk into the tournament room, you go to your table, you have to imagine this. You sit down, the opponent might be already there, you choose the scenario, it has no importance. Or the opponent will come and sit after you. You watch him and you feel nothing. You just see a form, but it has no importance. It has no name. No name. He could wear glasses when he doesn't wear glasses. He could have a bed if he doesn't have a bed. You don't care. And from this moment, the game starts. Do not expect the moves. I really, maybe we will discuss in deep with this thing, but when you make this visualization, never create fake expectations that could limitate you. For instance, he plays the Sicilian defense and you play e4 and you visualize he's going to play the Sicilian defense. No, do not do that. Because you have to free your mind. You have to be ready to face any situation. Can you believe this guy will come to play and play a Caro-Kann defenses? Okay, we'll say at a certain level, the people don't change the opening easily, but You never know. You never know. You have to prepare yourself to every possible uh, event in the game. The very best is to not expect anything because it creates an emotional link. We want to avoid the emotional link. Of course, you play the game, it's a game, but you win. And you visualize your victory. You take your score sheet and you sign with 1-0 or 0-1 if you have black. Okay, you sign, you see it, but you feel no emotion. You're just like a machine. Okay. And you do this thing 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. The important thing is that when you come to real, you will go and sit to the chess table and then you will recreate this state of having no emotion. No emotion. The no emotion is when you just watch the things in a different way. You watch how bright are the chess pieces, the quality of the wood, the chess clock sound when you press the button. You have the ambient noise. You go through. You don't see the surface of the thing of the opponent. You just relax. You just play what you have to play. You do what you have to do. Because anyone could come and sit, you would probably play the same move. In the middle game, you're not going to adapt a specific move for a specific opponent. If you have a winning combination, you play the winning combination. The winning combination is regardless the opponent. Huh?
Yeah,
If it wins, it wins. You agree with me?
of course, yeah.
So it is important to start to think like that. If you think, oh no, this is Mr. Jekyll, I'm not going to play this move because he's too strong. Let's be logical. Okay. Chess is a matter of logic. It's a good move or it's not a good move. It
Just
cannot.
like
Yeah,
Pontish used to say, sorry for interrupting you.
sure.
I mainly play against the pieces, not against the opponents.
That is it. And
Yeah,
that's what I was about to.
of course, it's easier to say it than doing it in a practical game. But I think that this tool that you're now suggesting can be very powerful. Let me just remind our viewers that first of all, we go through the basic state of hypnosis. Then we use in our mind these stairs and we go down to a certain space. In this particular case, this space will be the tournament hall with the ambience. And then you start sending this type of messages to your brain. In this case, you try to dissociate your emotions from the personality of your opponent and from the game. And now, something that is also very interesting, and I wanted to ask, but I'm sure that you are going to reach this point. Is it possible to use this technique during the game, and how to do it?
So during the game, you will be able to do many things. Like I said the very first time we had this chat about autohypnosis, when you are well trained, when you are used to practice it, you can trigger it in a matter of seconds. And sometimes even you take and you do the complete protocol in 30 seconds because you're used to it. You know, in the life, I taught this protocol to many people in my job, and sometimes I tell them, you can, when the traffic light is red, you know you have 3 minutes roughly, and some people just do that during 1 minute, and it works. It works. You can do that in many situations. I will not go into detail, but many situations. If you have some specific problem, fears, or you want to increase your potential or whatever.
Yeah,
The
actually,
sky is the
the
limit.
ability to achieve this state in for a very short period of time, I think this is basically connected to your ability to quickly relax the body, right?
That is it. Absolutely. You will be able to relax your body first. It takes no more than 5 seconds. Then you start to breathe as you would be sleeping. It's quite instant because, like I said, you did that a third of your life.
No one is more experienced in breathing than you, right?
Well, it's really easy. If you are 60 years old, you took 30 years sleeping in your life
Yeah.
because it's the law of the three-third, And it's easy to do that thing that you did for 20 years. It's really easy. You just instantly do like you would be sleeping. You do as you would be sleeping, and you breathe as you would be sleeping. You're not sleeping, of course, okay? But it creates some sort of trigger inside your body to say, hey, you're sleeping. So instantly, you put yourself in a state very relaxed, okay? And this is it. And then you start the scenario because you have to clear the mind and start the scenario. And the scenario will be the one you like. You will be even capable to create instantly a scenario. And this I will talk in the next video. But what I mean is that then you can, during the game, between two moves, just do this. I've seen many players closing their eyes and thinking when they play. It's not shocking to see a chess player with eyes closed, but you will be able to do it also with eyes open. But you have to focus on a point. This is the rule. You choose a point and you focus on it. Okay. Ideally, a piece, a square, a light in the background, whatever you choose, and you will be able to do this. Of course, if you choose something in the roof and stay like this, it's probably not very convenient,
Yeah.
unless your name is I know some chess players very famous, they used to do that. Maybe to whom I'm talking about.
And
I don't want to
Richard, by
say
the
any
way,
names.
do you know why some chess players look at the sailing when thinking? Actually, the reason is that when you calculate variations and you look at the boards, uh, actually pieces move in your mind, but they stay at their position on the board, and that's how you can make a blunder, or this visual contact with the board can interrupt your visualization process. But when you look at the sailing, then all the pieces are moving in your mind, and in this way, if you have good visualization abilities, you will be able to calculate variations more correctly.
Exactly. So I would like to return to the fact of what you said. During the game, like you said, you play against pieces. Okay, let's dig a bit on this statement. As you learned to dissociate yourself, you can imagine you are at the pictures at the cinema, okay, and watch a movie. And in this movie, you are the hero of the movie. Okay, you are the very best hero of your own movie. You sit at the first rank and you watch a blank screen, and suddenly there's a movie starting, and there is you in a dark room with a chessboard with a light, and you think about the next move. You can imagine a traveling camera hovering over the board, around you, and you think. This is a very easy technique to perform, which isolates yourself and your mind from any interaction and any opponent, because the opponent is not present in the scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
You play the pieces, you removed completely the opponent in your visualization. But this could be done only during the game, not before, because you will effectively play this opponent. So you have to imagine is there, but with no name or no face, or maybe like you're going to win, whatever. But during the game, just go through him or without him or remove him from the equation. Like I said, the move is good. Whatever player it is, if it's a good move, it's a good move. You will never see in a chess book or comment teaching or whatever saying, okay, if the opponent is good, play this move, and if this opponent is not good, you play this move. This, of course, does not exist, okay?
Of course, yeah.
Because it's an absolute rating of a move. It's not a virtual rating.
We should approach ourselves to how the computer thinks, right? Computer doesn't recognize particular opponents.
That is it, absolutely. So it's an easy thing to do. You can practice very easily. There is another technique which consists on, like I said, not being you, but being someone watching the game. And I mentioned that already. If you don't like your opponent, you can just visualize that you approach the table, but you're not the player. You're the one that is watching the game. What would you play if you're a spectator? What would you play? But the goal is always the same. It's to detach the emotion from the picture, from the scene. Okay.
Yeah. And actually, this technique is so powerful that when I listen to you, I can see many applications. Even when you deal with not only with difficult opponents, but with difficult situations that might arise during the game. For instance, let's suppose such a scenario. You're playing against a stronger opponent on the next day, and somehow you know that if this opponent is in a worse position, he will offer a draw, and the temptation to accept this draw offer will be very huge. And I think that during such an auto hypnosis, you can visualize exactly this situation with the draw offer coming from your opponent, and you can visualize how you reject this draw and you continue playing. I think that it will work as well.
Yes. There is something also that I would like to say about this. I specifically will go into details in the next video, because it's typical from, let's say, ideas that you might have that could limitate you. But you have your own statement, your own rules. Let's take an example. Bobby Fischer said that he doesn't want to play any draw. Okay, it was a rule.
Yeah.
If you create rules like this during the game, it's easy because it's, narrowing the possibilities. You don't have to think about what about if I do a draw and start to calculate that.
Exactly.
No,
Very,
because you have a rule. So the game here is to respect the rules. You play to win, but basta. That is it. The more you do this, it's better to lose a game you try to win, okay, that really trying to make a draw and at the end lose. Okay?
Actually, Richard, I want to say also something very important that works very well when I teach some young kids. When I see that one young player is a little bit hesitant and is always tends to accept draw offers, even in better position, when this kid fears opponents, usually I tell him, okay. draw offers in your games will not be offered and will not be accepted. You don't have the right to offer a draw and accept a draw. And my idea was always to liberate his thinking process from this possibility of making a draw. And I have witnessed spectacular results because draw was not an option already.
Yeah, I already said that also to a chess player here in my place. And I said, do you like to beg? He said, I'm not begging. He said, yes, you beg because you beg for a draw.
Yeah.
Why don't you wait your opponent begs for the draw, not you? And sometimes that changes because then you wait and maybe the opponent has a rule and will not ask for a draw. And you, but okay, what I mean to, let's say, resume is that you need rules, okay? You need principles because this creates let's say, a bunch of good practice rules, and this will help you in difficult moments. Because it's better to lose a game with the respect of the good rules, like I said, that maybe win by not respecting them. Okay, so you have to be tough and straightforward on your beliefs and what you've been trained for.
Because all these rules, they will contribute to your long-term process. And actually, the huge battle is more important than the particular game that you're playing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is it. Of course, you have many variation. And like we will discuss in the next video, we will also learn to create instantly the needs according to the situations. But the principle is always the same. Remove the emotional aspect by any tricks, any visualization. I gave you some example. Now you can, of course, go through them, see the one you prefer, or create new ones. But the principle is set.
Okay, thank you very much, Richard, for this very, very interesting conversation. I'm sure that our viewers can immediately apply all these principles and techniques in their preparation, even for the game tomorrow. So let's suppose that, let's hope that our advice will bring many victories to our spectators. So see you in the next videos.
See you in the next video. Thank you.
Thank you.